Hello all, I hope you are well in these extraordinary times. I would like to welcome you all to the Fintech Finance Virtual Arena where we're hosting you all today. Today we're going to be discussing what to expect from the first Temenos Community Forum, online and on demand. We're going to delve into some of the key topics of what to expect, including of course the cloud. Why? Because right now the winners in financial services are those that are able to help their clients with scaling up certain areas of the business, but also scaling down certain areas of the business. And cloud is clearly the best way of doing that. Joining me today, I have Prema Varadhan, the Chief Product Architect and Head of AI at Temenos. How are you doing today, Prema? How is London in lockdown?
Oh, hello, Ali. Thank you so much for having me. London is as resilient as it has ever been, you could say. It's very difficult, tough times. I have a teenage son, so I know how hard it is for every family who's going through the difficult times and also managing kids and work all at the same time. But one thing I know the British to do well is absolutely be resilient, be calm. So that's exactly what's happening.
Excellent. It's quite... We've seen a lot of kids entering video chat. It's disgraceful. You'll never catch us doing that over here. Well, firstly, obviously, we were obviously supposed to be in Madrid, right? It was supposed to be Madrid this
That's
week.
Right. Yeah, it was going to be Madrid. That's right. Yeah.
And now it's obviously all moved online. I'm looking forward to this week. I've got my parcel ready. What can we expect from TCF Online this week? What are some of the reasons to tune in and learn?
Right. So a lot has happened since the last TCF, and TCF, Temenos Client Forum, for us is a very, very proud event. All of us Temenosians, we take a lot of pride in this event. We do have quite a few conferences happening throughout the year within the company, and where we participate in the industry events as well. But this one is such a proud moment for us because we get to meet thousands of our clients, our prospects, our partners, a lot of the Temenos employees who interact with clients who are in the front line, who come to this event, and we are engaging in a very, one-to-one, face-to-face meetings. Plenty of us actually have meetings throughout booked, right from about 7 a.m., whichever local time zone that is, up until 7 or 8 in the evening. So it's brilliant event where we get to understand the client stories. We get to see how we transform the banks and thereby, also the banking customers. It's a fantastic thing for us to be able to be there, talk to these people, understand their challenges, understand how our stories have affected them, in a positive way. And in some cases where they have challenges, it's their opportunity to discuss with the expert or specialist and say, look, I have a problem. And we have almost immediate turnaround times on a lot of those issues. It's also about, for us, showcasing what we have done in the last 12 months or whatever, and then explaining the strategic, thinking, the thought leadership that we are going through as an organization, what we are seeing in the industry, how we are taking the industry forward. It's a fantastic opportunity that a lot of our customers enjoy thoroughly, and the prospects who come into these events, they are thrilled to see how this organization is presenting themselves, how they are enjoying the trust and credibility with the clients, and then how they may be going through the same journey as well, because it's quite an important thing to understand how the vendor culture is, what particularly this vendor uniquely has to offer. And this is an event which summarizes all of that for most of our prospects and clients.
I always say the reason people go to events as a whole is because, especially these live sort of events, is you go there to get those little golden nuggets, those snippets that you can't just stumble across through Google. And it was the last year's one in the Netherlands. I was chatting to somebody from I can't remember the name of the bank, but it was a bank in Ghana. And he was telling me, he says, I like this event because there is no bank quite like mine, but there's a lot of banks that are similar all over the world. So I'm learning something from a bank in South America. I'm learning something from a bank in Australia. I'm learning something from a bank in Russia or wherever. And it just seemed that it really was quite a truly global event, and that the issues that he was facing, he could take elements from everyone and put it and kind of mix it all together to find his solutions.
That's right. It's a huge community, right? It's a community where lots of experiences get shared, and we find it very interesting, the stories they tell us. Because this is a big community, 3,000 and odd banks. I don't get to know the details of a specific bank's implementation in South Africa or in Vietnam or in Philippines. But this is the event where I get to spend time with someone at the coffee bar or during dinner, and the stories they tell are absolutely phenomenal. The decisions that we take on a daily basis, I always think about this. It's easy to come up with solutions. It's easy to imagine solutions. I have been in Temenos for 21 years. There is no problem.
You're key.
Yeah, exactly. There's no problem in finding answers, but someone told me this. It was our founder, George Cookies. When I had a conversation with him about something, he said, "Look, Prema, it's always easy to find answers. There are plenty of answers to problems. When you are in Temenos, you have to only think about one thing to decide the best solution, which is the one solution that will do right by the client. Whichever you think that is going to get you right on that factor, pick that solution. Whether or not you think that's the right thing for Temenos, forget it. Do what's right by the client." I think that's brilliantly summarizing exactly what we should be doing, and we are all about in Temenos, right? That kind of reflects is what I'm saying.
Absolutely, he's a bit of a legend, is George. I gather, of course, you've got your session on AI and long-term success. I finished reading over the weekend, or rereading one of my favourite books, very unfintechy, World War Z, and in it there's something that kind of really sticks with me, which is zombie apocalypse. And the leader of the president of America at the time, he says it's important that we carry on our research into fusion technology, so that in the future, it's hope. That's what it is. So that in the future, we are building for not just this zombie apocalypse. We're building for in the long term. Again, when I saw that it's about AI and long-term success, I thought, excellent. I see what the goal is there. What's some of the main theme around this?
Right. So for us, AI has been an exciting innovation that we have been spending quite some time on. Typically, they say the banking industry is the last one to catch up on any of the technology and the innovation trends. But what we observed the last couple of years was that because of the shift in the customer behavior and the demand in different kind of customer experiences, because we, as a consumer of retail services, entertainment services, we are used to certain experience in the digital world. And that is very much around personalization. That's very much around what I need, what I like, and what I would like to do, understanding that and turning that into some sort of a service that I can readily consume. And those are the successful companies out there today who have tried to provide that to their consumers in various industries. I think that behavior has started moving into the banking industry quite clearly. It's not anymore about mobile app and the services inside the app and feature function and all that. Everybody does that. Where is the competitive advantage, right? It's about how much my bank understands my overall financial health. It's about how much they are able to understand my spending patterns, my budgets and goals, and are able to take me through that journey. And for that, if banks have to respond to that kind of a customer experience, a demand in that experience, they have to apply AI. There is no other way, because you are talking about so much individualized experience that you can't, no matter how many rules, how many checks you were to perform, whatever amount of code that you can write, you just simply can't keep up, right? The individual behaviors are completely different. My behavior is different to yours. The way I use my mobile app is not how you would use. The way you would probably use your laptop is not how a millennial would use. So it's quite different, and you can't code for these things. So traditional software engineering applications can't work, just don't work. So you need to have those self-learning algorithms. You need to have those data science, researches that the industry has been doing to be turned into proper applications that we can deploy. And a lot of big banks have their innovation labs, and they have been recruiting and working on lots of use cases around it. So we started seeing that trend. But we also saw a particular challenge that banks were facing. A lot of these projects were sitting in the innovation labs as is, not getting moved into the production environment. And we started finding the root cause pretty quickly as well, because banking is such a regulated industry, financial services is a regulated industry. AI algorithms are notorious for becoming black boxes after a while. So as they learn more, as they take more and more decisions, as they see more and more data, the way the decisions are taken differ. They change over a period of time. So banks should be in a position to explain to their own customers and also regulators that this is precisely what this algorithm is doing at this point in time. This is the context in which it has taken this decision, and this is how the algorithm came to that decision, the factors that contributed to that decision being taken. And then in some scenarios, for the human users, the staff in the bank, in order to adjust those factors so they are able to proceed with that decision. Because some decisions like credit scoring, a lot of it can be automated, but in some cases banks may have those policy rules and checks in place to make sure certain decisions, if they qualify in this kind of criteria, to be reviewed by human staff, as in the users, and then for them to adjust and then take decisions, overriding maybe in some cases the algorithm, the decision taken by the algorithm. So explainability became quite quickly a challenge in the industry. I think the industry is waking up to it. There's been a lot of reports coming out from the European Commission and also other governing bodies who are starting to talk about why it is important to have explainability in the AI algorithms. That's precisely what we focused on, because when I took the proposal to my board on investments on AI, they said all that is fine, but what are the challenges? Why are the banks not already doing it in full scale? And then looked around and found the root cause of the problem. I said, we have to start differentiating our solutions through this. That's the only way banks are going to be able to trust these solutions and to be able to apply in production. So that's precisely what we are focusing on right now. We made the acquisition of a company called Logical Glue last year. You might have seen that.
Yeah.
They have a unique patented fuzzy logic-based explainable AI platform. And all our explainable solutions, we call them now XAI. All of our XAI models have that sort of explainability, human readable explainability as a platform capability. So that's how we are differentiating ourselves, and that's pretty much the theme around AI for us this year. It's all about personalization, it's about efficiencies, it's also about explainability.
So how long do you think it will be before, I'm not talking like a kind of, less than kind of a million customer bank, how long until a bank with say 10 plus million customers, particularly on the retail side, would be able to deliver that personalized experience to every single one of them and to be able to use AI to treat them all as an individual?
It's an interesting question. It depends, I think, on a number of factors. It's quite likely that when we come out of this, on the other side of this crisis, this may happen quite immediately. Yeah, the reason is right now the situation is demanding, so demanding that, forget about banks shutting their branches. It's about customers don't want to go to their branches anymore, right? And this may become the new normal, because as more and more services get offered digitally, the digital experience that customers have been asking for so long also will become part of that package. So banks will be forced to expedite this rollout of personalized, individualized services pretty quickly. And you can see now, just in the SME space, where banks are now have been offering the SME loan support and all that. But just in terms of how many banks have actually started to roll this out quite heavily and how many SMEs have actually started benefiting out of this, it's not a lot. And there is a problem, because a fundamental problem, one of the problems I would say, is that quick rollout of these SME onboarding and the origination processes online in a fully straight-through processable way, keeping in mind all these eligibility checks and the policy rules that have changed to be applied, right? Banks may not have had these digital processes at all. They may not have thought about how to treat these different businesses or different segments of businesses or micro segments of these businesses before. They may not have these in place. They're now having to start thinking about how to differentiate themselves and how to do also in an efficient manner. So this is why we rolled out our XAI models. You might have seen the press release last month. It's about speeding up those crisis loans. It's about the decision making that is going on behind the scenes, which used to require human users to take a lot of those decisions, which can be automated now. So we have also an intelligent decision management capability as part of the solution, which gives banks an immediate jump start into this process. It's all about efficiency. It's all about improvement in that experience. And I don't think banks will be in a position to offer that using the traditional way. So they have to start applying these AI models in order to speed things up, in order to be more efficient. They can't afford to have back office users authorizing even 10% of those applications, which they might have done in the past.
Obviously AI can't really I always say there's the ABCDs, and AI and cloud are kind of two of the main elements there. Max did a really good session actually at the amazing event, best event of the year so far, Paris Fintech Forum, on cloud. What's Temenos' approach to obviously using cloud from an AI perspective, both for scaling up and scaling down? What's the approach to cloud?
Yeah, so the thing about cloud for us is, with or without AI, it's a given, right? The cost of running the platform, the cost of infrastructure, the IT services that you have to build, capabilities that you have to build around your on-prem implementation, it's massive. It's just staggeringly massive. And we have been doing a lot of case studies, and the cost is like tiny when you were to move all of your services onto the cloud, irrespective of whether you are applying AI or not. This was a problem for the banks in changing their thinking around losing control of their systems, their data, the vast group of people who would sit within the IT and debate for days about how to integrate systems and what databases to pick and how to apply the multi-layered security and all that. It's just gone. It's a problem that they shouldn't be solving, right? That's something we realized a long back, and that's precisely why Temenos solutions have been up and running in the cloud for so many years. But the major shift that we made the last few years is also around SaaS. So all our applications now are being built as a software as a service. For example, the AI models and the platform is a machine learning platform as a service, right? We run our models as a service. We spin up environments like in minutes, and we are provisioning the software regularly in an automated fashion. We do a lot of DevOps as well. Our culture has changed significantly. So we think about the non-functionals. We think about the cost of running our software for a customer while we are developing, designing solutions. So we have gone, way ahead of our competition in ensuring that all of these, benefits that our customer can get out of running their software on cloud, we have been actually thinking and planning and delivering that all along. That is why we are seeing our SaaS revenues are growing quite significantly. And all of the new strategic developments that we do, everything is being built as SaaS first. So we think like that as an organization already. And that's something our banks are quite catching up as well. So banks who used to debate and challenge about data sitting on the cloud, the data privacy concerns, the data governance, sovereignty issues, all that is gone, right? It's been debated, solutions have emerged. The benefits of running your software on the cloud, being more agile, being able to not think about the security investments you have to make constantly, because there are big technology vendors, giants who have invested heavily and who have come up with all sorts of solutions to the security problems that as a bank themselves have to solve in the past. So it's something that banks have started picking up on pretty quickly now. So we can see a shift in the industry now with this crisis. That's precisely what it's emphasizing again. You can't afford to run, on-prem software and have people run around and, solve all these issues for you. It used to take ages, days to provision environments, provision developer instances even. But now it's minutes. If anything, it's a press of a button. You have a neat executable architecture. You spin up an environment with all of the components readily tested and available for you. And off you go. You can, as a developer, you can start coding in the morning. And if it is tested continually, as a bank, if you follow that principle, you'll be able to deploy your software in the evening.
That is incredible. That kind of speed of that. I remember that was always said last year was, code in the morning, deploy in the afternoon, or deploy in the evening.
How true is that, right? It's so true now. If banks have to respond to these kind of challenges quite quickly, because every day the trend is shifting and things are changing, banks have to be that agile, right? They have to adjust their SME, onboarding solutions. They have to think about the policy rules they have to change. They have to assess their risk differently. They have to think about all the liquidity issues. So it's so fast. This crisis has only taught so much to banks that they have to be on the cloud. Otherwise, they are not going to be able to respond.
Well, with that in mind, I mean, big bank trying to move everything to the cloud is often can be a bit iffy. Has this crisis, do you think in terms of banks, it's put a lot of long-term projects on hold, or do you think it's kind of forced them to accelerate?
It's forced them to accelerate. Absolutely. That's the evidence that we are seeing. We are all working from home, but we are like 99% of us are working from home. There is absolutely no downtime whatsoever for a lot of us. We can see that a lot of projects are accelerating. We are remotely supporting a lot of our client implementations. We have good few deals signing as well. There is decisions that are getting made, and particularly on the digital front, as I said. So a lot of interest in the market for the AI solutions, which we have been like swamped with requests. So I don't think it's slowing down at all. It's speeding up, and this is what banks are saying. This is the new normal, and this is existential for them as well. If they don't respond now, they don't take those decisions now, they're not going to be emerging on the other end of this crisis successful at all, or have a chance to recover. Let's put it that way. So a lot of our banks, because we also offer our services like that online, and there's been a huge uptake on the client cloud implementations for us. We are seeing things speed up quite dramatically.
Absolutely. Do you think? I always find speedboat banks quite interesting, because of course they don't have any of the legacy whatsoever. Do you think this is the time for your speedboat banks to then start to really scale up, and the parent companies look down and go, we should be doing something like that?
Yeah, so that's an interesting topic. Actually, we have been debating this last week internally as well. So as you know, a lot of these digital only banks, or even the digital brands of big banks, they have this platform, the modern banking platform, built from scratch. They don't come with any legacy problems, if I can put it that way. They don't have the issues of scaling up and down. This is an opportunity equally for them to capitalize. Absolutely, yes. And the trouble is also that a lot of the existing customer base is still with the big banks, with the traditional banks. It's not so easy for banking customers, to suddenly now making the shift. So it's equally an opportunity as well as a problem, as challenge, I would say right now, because there is not a major shift we are seeing in the customer, trust. If anything, the big banks have stepped up. The traditional banks have stepped up.
It's also, there's a great cartoon that I've seen shared quite a lot of the bank boardroom basically saying, what's going to be the disruption? Is it going to come digital? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be challenges, whatever? And there's a great little wrecking ball of COVID-19 swinging into, again, really, really... Jordan, we'll stick in that cartoon there. The last thing kind of want to bring up is, what, aside from, of course, your session, what are you most looking forward to TCF Online this week?
Interesting. The thing is, for me, the format, we absolutely enjoyed recording all the videos and stuff like that. Last week, all the videos were recorded, so all our sessions are now kind of given, it's there. What I'll look forward to the most is the Q&A sessions, the live Q&A sessions that we have with our customers and people who have registered. I'm really looking forward to it, because if you are familiar with our format of TCF, we have the main plenary sessions where people stand up and we just keep going one after the other, present the sessions, one after the other, demos in between and all that. But that one is kind of us presenting, people are just listening and taking in, and we catch up during the breaks and all that. This one is slightly different. It's slightly more personal also, I would say, because it's recorded as a video. It goes up prior to the session, and people are watching it. People can rewind, listen to what we had to say carefully, and then take things down, note it down, come back to us in the Q&A session, ask all those lovely questions. And it's going to be very interesting doing that live. So that's something I really I'm looking forward to, because it can be a lot more engaging. It can be an eye-opener for a lot of us. And I thoroughly enjoy all the client interactions anyway. So the fact that we decided to have the live Q&A, even though it can be daunting for our marketing team and everybody else who is on those, it's something I totally enjoy. I look forward to that.
Brilliant, excellent. Well, Prema, thanks very much for taking the time to chat to us today. I'm looking forward to seeing your session and all the others at TCF Online later this week. Where can we find out more about yourself?
LinkedIn.
It's always nice hearing people's channels of choice. It's either Twitter or LinkedIn for work.
Exactly. Yeah, LinkedIn, though I'm not very active there as I should be. But, I'm in meetings from 7 to 7. So it's tough these days to keep updating stuff. But yeah, yeah, that's right. LinkedIn is the best place.